is damaged, and the road too, over on the other side, is eaten away underneath. The road in Congo Valley is gone. Where the farmers who are there tell me, which is, as you know, is a long road. And you have mountain top up there. You have a farming community. We have on the left side of the valley we have Jennings Windward Water Project. Then the bridge at Caratal has been affected and houses at Caratal, but it's passable. Like this one, the chief engineer would have to make assessments as to where the restrictions would have to be placed insofar as containers and the like are concerned. The bridge at Basin Hole, Langley Park, it's gone. It's not passable. And we have to open. I gave instructions to open the Langley Park Government School as a shelter. But we have to do that in a way to hopefully accommodate the classes which are doing common entrance, because they're going to do common entrance shortly. Vehicles are already up there picking up people's belongings to try and put them in some safe place, and so on and so forth. Internally, we haven't got a full report, but I mean, the comrades who have come out of South Rivers and Park Hill tell me that, for instance, in South Rivers and the places beyond South Rivers, Jarvis and so forth, the roads are all dug up. In Goss here, where going up to where my house is and where you have hundreds of acres of land in which you have produce, the road going to Goss is impassable. It has broken away.
You can't get to your home?
No, I wouldn't be able to get to it. I could get to it from
another route
through Montreal, but we have to clean that road properly. McCracken and come through the back of what you call backwater.
Yes.
All right, comrade. Then the chief engineer was telling me about in the South Central Windward constituency, particularly up in the Lauders area where there was a lot of damage. We are yet, that's why I say we are yet to know what is the full extent of the damage. The CWSA has informed me that both the Perseverance system, which feeds Georgetown, and the system at Jennings, the Windward Water Supply, which serves all this area going to Park Hill, South Rivers, Connery, and so forth, they're not able to start work on them yet, and for them to see the full assessment, but they know enough that 2 big pipes have been washed away. They have to go and replace those. So it's a difficult one.
How do you compare this to Thomas?
Well, in terms of road damage, this is far worse.
Really?
Yes, this is far worse, because in Thomas, none of the roads became impassable. None of the bridges were damaged. Thomas, of course, did a lot of damage to houses and
bananas.
And Thomas, you had a lot of landslides, but this one also you have landslides too. But the road infrastructure and bridges have been really, really badly damaged. And in the case of Thomas, we were able to get the water supply back up within 48 hours. In this part of the country, I'm not so sure that they're going to get the water supply up before Friday or Saturday.
Who do you have with you here? Professionals, bureaucrats, technocrats? Who do you have? You have CWSA here. You have your chief engineer.
The chief engineer is here. They have different persons with heavy duty equipment. Bragsa is here. Bragsa and Minister Francis, Deputy Prime Minister Miguel, Minister Daniel, they're all up in the area of Caratal up to Basin Hole, Langley Park.
Are we within the framework boundaries of your constituency?
This is still in the constituency.
How far does your constituency go that way?
My constituency goes south down to Bellevue, and it goes to Caratal River. Julian is back.
Talk to him to get
And we, what is directly persons north of where we are here, 15,000 people, over 1/10 of the population, are severely affected. And then, of course, there are others in other parts of the where the roads may not be passable in the interior. So it's a significant section of the population and the economy which has been affected.
PM, as you said, Mr. Francis is here. Would you be able to give us an update on what you found thus far, Mr. Julian Francis?
I think the landscape from here up in certain areas have been changed considerably. Dixon is, I think a lot of this is from the logs up in the mountains from after Thomas. So all the bridges have been blocked. The Basin Hole Bridge is taken out completely. You can't cross over there. Persons are wading over the river because the river itself, the river valley, is full right up. Basin Hole has to be described as a disaster zone. Dixon, from O'Brien's Valley over into Dixon, is, I mean, you wouldn't recognize it from what it was last week. People who were living in a house close to the bridge there left their house and their vehicle. They didn't even have time to get out of the vehicle. So the vehicle is just about halfway covered. All the residents in the Basin Hole area have to be moved out. Those down to the riverside, because the river is now running through there, the houses, and come around. All their belongings are outside, their clothes, their furniture, stoves, pots, pans. So we're making some arrangements.
The river defenses which we had put in, they all went.
Yeah. I mean, the bridge, the whole place is undermined. If you check at this bridge, that whole highway is undermined right there.
Rebecca has held up.
Well, I didn't go over. Lady Jane got the most of it. And Lady Jane...
Lady Jane is blocked.
Yes, but I don't think it's destroyed.
Yes.
Maybe covered over.
Lady Jane is the smaller of the bridges at Rebecca.
So you weren't able to physically pass over to go further? So we don't know what's north of the Dry River?
No, but the reports I've had there, basically Lady Jane is the worst. But it's covered. Persons thought that Caratal Bridge had gone, but was just tons and tons and tons of tree trunks that just covered it over. I mean, if you see Russell's property is basically obliterated. It's covered over with logs and trees and bush.
Russell's property is the house. When you immediately come across the Caratal Bridge, immediately on the right, that's the first shop and house you meet there. It's a wall house.
So the persons over there who said that we've had a tsunami from the land side, because the way it's piled up, it reminds you of Japan. You know, the amount of tree trunks and logs.
I look out to sea and I see tree trunks floating.
When you get to that river, you'll see the amount of...
Julian, I was telling him the Hawks and these guys are telling me that the road up in Congo Valley
would be washed out.
Gone.
There's no question about it.
You know, Goss Road is gone completely.
Yeah. They told me that you can't get to your house.
I can't get there.
Yeah.
Then up to the back of South Rivers.
That's where I'm going now. I'm driving up there now to see what
Jarvis and so on. I understand you. Those guys tell me you can't go through McCracken. They can't go through McCracken to get to South Rivers.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
But all road clear, right?
All road is clear?
Yeah, okay. I'm driving up there now to see what they look like.
All right.
But you need to. I'm bringing out the two bullhorns. I believe you should address the persons at
Langley Park.
At Langley Park,
yes.
and Basin Hole.
I'm just waiting until we
Do we know how many people are displaced at the moment?
I mean, there are about 20 houses in that vicinity. I would say that would have to be.
Logistically, what?
20 houses are gone. You would expect in the region of 60.
The houses themselves not destroyed, but they're washed out. I mean, inside is full of mud. All their belongings are
unlivable.
Yeah, unlivable for weeks.
You're probably gonna, if you think of 4 persons per house. You're looking at 80 people. We have to feed them. We have to take care of them.
Raxa is on the ball. They're moving. They're getting 4 school buses and about 5 trucks to help the people move whatever they wish to move. We'll try and put them into the Langley Park. I believe that you're arranging for Langley Park.
Yes.
Leeward is fine?
Yes. I spoke to Gerald Thompson. I was trying to get Irvin Robertson this morning, but I haven't had any reports. But from what Gerald tells me, Leeward is fine. I think a lot of the rain came from this belt in this area. You know.
So this is going to, logistically, this is going to continue for the rest of today and this week?
Well, this is going to occupy you for a week, at least, to get this cleared up.
And to recover this. As I told Chester, we are talking tens of millions of dollars.
Have we paid off that loan yet from Thomas, the $3 million that we borrowed from the credit, that situation? We had 3 months, 90 days.
We have paid locally, and we owe some money to Tankwell. We haven't paid all of Tankwell out of
90
Jamaica.
days is extended then?
Yeah.
Just I'll say this, once the Minister of Finance can get me the money, I'll get it done in shortest possible time. All I need is the money.
You have been, the gauntlet has been thrown down, Prime Minister. You need to find the money. Where are you going to find the money?
Well, the Lord will provide.
At this stage, seems you have very little else to turn to.
No. That's not very little else. When you say the Lord will provide, what I'm saying is that we always get
And Pastor Charles
through.
will say he can start praying. I'm sure he started praying already.
You see, his father was a lay preacher. I tell him, a deacon. I told him that the Lord will provide. Yeah. He said, well, it seems as though I have very little to go on. I tell him that I've gone to the highest.
Yes.
When he says it, and I told him I put it like that because we always